Tell us a bit about the history here between Rex Tillerson and Russia. He was able to push through a number of big deals with Russia during his tenure at Exxon.
I think it's those ties that may have attracted the incoming administration to Tillerson as a possible selection for Secretary of State. It's a deep relationship. It goes back to the 1990s. Started out in Sakhalin Island, which was a major project, and it's continued thereafter, especially during the Rosneft JV as well. So it's a relationship that can be levered, and it may reset the relationship between the two countries on something that they can agree on, the importance of energy security and energy abundance as well.
There's been so much attention focused on his relationship with Russia. What about other countries? What's his experience like around the globe?
Yeah, that is a great point, because as head of Exxon, you are the head of an organization with a global scale spanning 50 countries. Having an appreciation for the different cultures, different value systems, the different social mores, allows you to appreciate the intricate relationship that one country must have with another country. And it's transactional, right? I mean, he was there to do deals where one country gets something and you get something as well. So it's mutually beneficial, a symbiotic relationship, as opposed to something more confrontational, perhaps.
You've been following his career. He's been on the job since 2006. I was talking with Fadlgate of Oppenheimer this morning about a quotation he had in the New York Times back in 2006 when he was taking this job from Lee Raymond, and he said that what you're seeing here is basically the same old wine in a new bottle. That Exxon kind of runs itself. The CEO, the chairman, the CEO, has some determinism at the head of the company, but really this company kind of runs in the direction it always has. How has Rex Tillerson sort of changed the way this company's been run?
Well, in two unique ways. Number one, it's the relationship with Russia and the expanding relationship there as well, but also the recent acquisition of XTO back in 2010. That was a major bet on natural gas that did not pan out, a $35 billion bet on natural gas that seemed to turn the other way on them. But I would say those are the two most significant issues that has occurred during his tenure there.
And now, to follow up on David's question, it looks like Darren Woods, who's the president, would be the heir apparent to then take over from Tillerson. How does he compare? How will he change Exxon, if at all?
That's a great question. And I think the one issue, the one challenge for him is to validate the integrated model. Now, you have certain challenges, and you have challenges with respect to environmental activists. You have the ascendancy of renewables. You also have the fact that production, upstream production, has not grown in roughly a decade. You have a reserve base that has been relatively stagnant for the last 5 years. He comes from a different side of the business. He comes from the refining and chemical side of the business, the downstream piece of the business that has really been the ballast for the organization during this time of weak prices. He's rationalized the downstream business, selling off some pieces, improving the profitability. So I think there's an appreciation and an understanding that we're in this period of uncertainty and volatility in the price of oil and gas, and perhaps he can bring that expertise to the table and bring it over to the upstream side and the overall organization as well.
You mentioned renewables, and I wonder what we know about Rex Tillerson's attitude toward climate change and alternative energy.
I think that has shifted somewhat and more nuanced, but I think, as you could imagine, ahead of an organization that deals with conventional oil and gas, that he would take somewhat of a skeptical point of view.
And that has been one of the points of early contention regarding his potential appointment, is that when you talk about the Paris Climate Agreement, here is the U.S.'s main representative around the globe, and that perhaps he would not be so willing to support that. Do we have really any real indication of whether he would or not?
I'm not sure he has offered any on-the-record commentary about that, but I think what's more important here is that energy security is a function of national security. And if you view through the prism of the geopolitical tensions that we are seeing across the globe, especially in the energy-sensitive areas, you can understand why an unconventional pick like this would actually help us better appreciate those tensions across the globe in those energy-sensitive areas.